What is the most dangerous weapon in a spy's arsenal? Is it a coded message, a concealed blade, or a perfectly forged document? In 1856, America's most famous detective was about to discover the answer was far more radical. The deadliest weapon was the one no one ever saw coming: a woman. This is the story of her rebellion. Now, let's uncover how she defied her world. The year is 1856, and the Pinkerton National Detective Agency is the gold standard in American law enforcement. A world forged by men, for men. Its founder, Alan Pinkerton, was a stoic Scotsman who had built an empire on grit, observation, and an unshakable belief in the rule of law. His agents were hunters, shadowing outlaws and infiltrating criminal gangs in a brutal, male-dominated landscape. The very idea of a female detective was not just unconventional, it was unthinkable. Law enforcement was a matter of muscle and intimidation, a sphere where women were victims or witnesses, never agents of justice. Into this world walks a 2-3-year-old widow named Kate Warne. She'd seen Pinkerton's newspaper advertisement seeking detectives, and, to the utter bewilderment of the office clerk, she had come to apply. When ushered into Pinkerton's office, he assumed a clerical error had been made. He began to politely dismiss her, explaining that the work was not suited for a woman. This was the moment of defiance. Warne did not plead or appeal to sympathy. She presented a strategic masterclass. Here, the historical record, preserved in Pinkerton's own extensive memoirs, shows us a mind-altering shift in perspective. Warne argued that her gender was not a liability, but a tactical advantage. She could infiltrate social circles where his male agents were clumsy intruders. She could befriend the wives and girlfriends of suspected criminals, earning their confidence and extracting secrets they would never yield to a man. She could assume a dozen different identities: a high society flirt, a humble servant, a fortune teller, using society's dismissive view of women as the perfect camouflage. This wasn't a request for a job. It was a proposal to revolutionize the very craft of espionage. Pinkerton was stunned. He saw not a woman asking for a chance, but a strategist offering him an entirely new class of weapon. He hired her on the spot, not as a secretary, but as a full-fledged detective, the very first woman in American history to hold the title. Kate Warne was no token hire. Alan Pinkerton immediately deployed his new weapon on major cases, and the results were revolutionary. In a high-stakes embezzlement case against the Adams Express Company, she successfully infiltrated the social circle of the primary suspect's wife, recovering a staggering sum of stolen money and cementing her reputation as a master operative. She proved her strategic theory was not just plausible, it was devastatingly effective. But her greatest test, the case that would determine the fate of a nation, was yet to come. By February 1861, America was a fractured nation, tearing itself apart at the seams. Abraham Lincoln, the president-elect, was making his way to Washington, D.C. for his inauguration, a journey fraught with peril. The head of the Philadelphia, Wilmington and Baltimore Railroad, fearing sabotage of his lines by secessionist sympathizers in Maryland, hired the Pinkerton Agency for protection. The assignment began as a case of corporate security, but it would quickly escalate into a mission of national salvation. Alan Pinkerton dispatched a team of his best agents to Baltimore, a known hotbed of anti-union fervor. At the heart of this operation, he placed Kate Warne. This was the ultimate crucible. Warne's strategy was an act of audacious performance art. She adopted the persona of a wealthy, coquettish Southern belle named Mrs. Cherry, complete with a thick, convincing Alabama accent and a wardrobe to match. While male agents infiltrated the working-class gangs and secret societies fomenting rebellion from below, Warne aimed directly at the top. She moved through Baltimore's secessionist high society, attending lavish parties and social gatherings. Here, we see from the operational reports that she exploited the era's chauvinism with surgical precision. The men who organized the conspiracy saw her as a charming, vapid sympathizer, an ally, but ultimately an irrelevance. They boasted in her presence, dropping names, locations, and timelines, revealing critical intelligence they would guard with their lives from any man. Warne became the intelligence linchpin of the entire operation. She was the central hub to which all other agents funneled their disparate pieces of the puzzle. It was Warne who collated the whispers from the docks with the drunken boasts from the drawing rooms. And the picture that emerged was terrifying. The threat was not random violence. It was a highly organized conspiracy known today as the Baltimore Plot. The plan was chillingly simple. As Lincoln transferred between the Calvert Street station and the Camden Street station in Baltimore, a mob would create a diversion, and a hand-picked team of assassins would strike. This was meant to be a decapitation of the Union government, a coup d'etat designed to send the nation into a spiral of chaos from which it could never recover. With the plot confirmed and the assassins identified, the mission shifted from intelligence gathering to crisis management. The evidence was irrefutable, but Lincoln's security detail was skeptical. Pinkerton and Warne had to devise a counterplan to save a president who didn't yet fully believe he was in danger. They decided to smuggle him through Baltimore under the cover of darkness, hours ahead of his published schedule. And for the most critical leg of this clandestine journey, Kate Warne was assigned a vital, hands-on role. She was to pose as Lincoln's invalid sister, personally escorting the president-elect on the overnight train, using her presence as a disarming cover. Her intel had exposed the threat. Now her courage would be the shield that guaranteed his survival. The midnight train, carrying the fate of the Republic, sliced through the darkness towards Washington. On board, a stoic Kate Warne played her part to perfection, attending to her ailing brother, the disguised president-elect. They moved like ghosts through the very city where assassins lay in wait. A masterful act of counter-surveillance and subterfuge. When Lincoln's train pulled safely into the Capitol the next morning, the Baltimore Plot had failed.
Damn it all!
The conspirators, waiting for a train that had already passed, were left with nothing. A nation was secured, not by an army, but by a handful of spies and the strategic brilliance of one woman who saw what no one else did. Warne's work did not end with Lincoln's inauguration. As the Civil War erupted, Alan Pinkerton was tasked with creating the Union's intelligence service. His first and most crucial appointment was making Kate Warne the head of his new female detective bureau.
Remember,
She became,
your discretion is
in
paramount.
effect,
The success
America's
of this mission
first
depends on your
female
ability
spy
to blend
master. and deployed a team of female agents who served as couriers, infiltrators, and counter-spies. She was no longer just an operative. She was a commander, coordinating intelligence that would give Union forces a critical edge. So why is her name not etched into the monuments of American heroes? The answer is a frustrating mix of professional secrecy and historical bias. The world of espionage demands anonymity. Its greatest successes are its most silent ones. Furthermore, while Alan Pinkerton's memoirs are our primary source on Warne, and he praises her lavishly, they are ultimately his stories. He is the hero of his own narrative, and Warne, for all her genius, is cast in a supporting role. Her life was cut tragically short when she died of pneumonia in 1868, likely just 35 years old. The records show that a devastated Alan Pinkerton was by her side. He had her buried in his own family plot in Chicago, a place of highest honor. Yet the grave itself, marked by a simple, weathered stone, tells the final story. Her legacy was intentionally written in shadow, a testament to a woman who saved a president and redefined the art of the spy, all while remaining invisible to the world she helped protect. Kate Warne's story proves that history is not just a record of grand battles and loud declarations. It is shaped by quiet whispers, daring
We need
risks,
to figure out our next move.
and calculated courage in the shadows. The most profound acts of defiance often come from the figures history chose to forget. By uncovering their stories, we reclaim the truth that rebellion belongs to everyone, and we ensure their vital legacies are finally brought into the light.